Hey, welcome to your flow. Today we're going to work on binding. So binding the arms with the legs. And what's required for binding is a lot of openness in the shoulder girdle as well as in the hips. So we're going to focus on really opening up through those areas of the body to allow ourselves to go deeper in the poses through the use of binds. So don't worry if you're not great binder or if you don't bind too often. We're going to open up the body in an intelligent sequence so that you have the opportunity to bind, but try it out, see how you feel. This class does not require any props, but I highly recommend maybe blocks or definitely a strap if you have a yoga strap at home, or in this case a belt because I can't find my yoga strap, so I'm using my belt. So this works just fine. We're gonna go ahead and start our practice today in a seated position. And this seated position is going to be your choice of how you want to sit down. So you can have a seat as I'm doing right now, or you can have a seat in Sukhasana where you're seated on your sit bones and cross-legged. Okay, so whatever feels good for you. For me here, this feels good, opening up the tops of my feet, the tops of my ankles, and my shins. So once you're in a comfortable seat, spread your toes wherever they are, and then soften them. And go ahead and close your eyes. And just sense your body here. Sense how you feel in this moment today. Sense what it feels like to be inside your physical body in this moment. So what does it feel like to live inside of your body? And start to soften, relax the shoulders, soften through the neck. Maybe roll one ear to one shoulder and then the other. Just allow yourself to explore the body. And then allow yourself to focus on your breath. So bring your awareness into your breathing and perhaps how the breath flows in the body right now, in this moment in time. Do you feel like you're limiting your breath in any way by gripping through the shoulders, through the neck, through the heart? And where can you let go of tension in order to create more space for the breath? Start to feel the flow of air travel up and down the spine, front and back. Let's all take a deep breath in through the nose. Fill up the body, open mouth, let it go. And then let's do that twice more. Breathing in through the nose, filling up with air. Open mouth, letting that go. One more time, breathing in through the nose, filling up. Open mouth, exhale. Seal your lips. And breathe in and out through your nose here. Start to engage with Ujjayi Pranayama, this breath of fire, this heating breath. This breath that's really going to allow us to heat our bodies from the inside, make our muscles a little bit more malleable and flexible. So continue to breathe in this way. Set your intention for your practice today if you're working with one. I'll offer up just being open to trying new things, knowing where your edge is and knowing where to back off versus knowing where to explore. Okay, from there start to flutter your eyes open. And now inhale, reach your arms all the way up towards the ceiling. Exhale, turn the palms out, bring your arms back down. Let's do that twice more. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, palms down, bring them back down. Inhale, reach your arms out to a T here. And now roll your left arm forward and roll your right arm back. Okay, so your right palm is gonna face up and your left palm, depending on how far you've rolled, is either gonna face back or up. So ideally you want the palms to kind of face the same way, even though your arms are rotated separately. Okay, Then now you're gonna start to just roll the arms the opposite way. So if your arms were rolling pins, you're rolling them opposite of each other, internal and external rotation, forward and backward. And the idea here is as you roll, you want the roll to happen from the shoulder joint. So you actually want the movement to happen in the shoulder and from the shoulder blade. Okay, that's really important in how we move our shoulders. Now with each roll, I'd like you to think about engaging into that twist a tiny bit more. So if your arm is rolled forward, we're engaging the front of the shoulder into the chest. And if your arm is rolled backward, we're engaging the shoulder blade into the back of the heart. And then you're gonna switch. Same thing, different arm. And then continue in this way. Just a few times. You can allow your head to twist. You can allow your spine to move. Let this feel really good. So we're working through the shoulder joint. We're warming it up. Okay. Now from there, reach your fingertips out in opposite directions. Breathe in here. Open through the chest cavity. On your breath out, take your right arm underneath your left arm. Either give yourself a hug or cross at the elbows. Maybe take your fingertips and palm together if you can get it there. And then from there, start to draw the elbows in line with the shoulders. Draw the shoulders down and away from the ears. These are eagle arms or Garudasana arms. Now pull the elbows away from the shoulders so that you feel this almost roundedness, this space created in your upper back. Think about lifting through the crown of the head, maybe playing around with pointing your fingertips forward. Breathing here. Okay, from there, inhale your arms back out to a T. Now as you exhale, turn your left shoulder forward, palm faces down, and turn your right palm up, shoulder back. Bend at both elbows, okay? You're taking the back of your left hand to your low to middle back, and you're lifting your top elbow up so that the bicep rests right beside the ear. Now the idea here is we're trying to turn our fingertips to face one another, and this is how that looks here. Now if you can clasp the hands, go for it. If you need a little bit of help from your trusty belt or strap, you'll go ahead and take the strap in your top arm and let the belt or strap just drape behind you. You can grab a hold of it here with your hands. Okay, and the idea here is you want to hug the upper arm bones into the midline. Tendency is to let the ribs jut forward. You want to pull them in and send the tailbone down towards the floor. Hold here for about 3 breaths. Opening through the shoulders. One more breath. Perfect, release. Take your arms out to a T. When you're ready, inhale. Perfect, exhale, left arm underneath the right. Find Garudasana arms. Hook at the elbows, bring your hands together. Draw the elbows towards, away from the midline of your body, away from your chest. Drop the shoulders, and maybe play around with pointing the fingertips forward. Good. Now inhale. Take the elbows up, lift the crown of the head. Stay for the exhale, feel that opening in the back body. Okay, inhale, reach the arms out to a T now. We're gonna go opposite way. Exhale, the right arm rolls forward, so the shoulder rolls towards the chest, and the left arm rolls backward, so the back of the shoulder rolls into the back. Bend both elbows, so you look a little funny like this. And then lift the left elbow point up towards the ceiling, reach towards the back of your shirt, and then draw the back of your right hand towards your low to middle back. Now notice if you can clasp your fingertips already by drawing the elbows in towards the midline. If not, take your top arm, grab for a strap. Drape the strap behind you. Grab and hug the upper arm bones in. So we're thinking about getting really narrow through the midsection here, getting really narrow, drawing all the extremities inward, lifting through the skull, pressing the back of the skull towards the back of your space. Breathing here, 2 more breaths. Great shoulder opener. 1 more breath. So we're already bound. We've bound twice already today. Okay, slowly release the strap. You can leave it at the top of your mat. From there, have a seat, face forward. If you're not already, Okay, now from there, take the feet forward in front of you and plant the feet. Cross your right ankle over your left thigh, just above the knee, and bring your hands behind you here. Straighten out through the arms. The idea is we're getting into the outer hip, so we're starting with the hip region again. Okay, now pressing the chest up, lift through the heart, lift the gaze. If you don't feel a stretch, start to bring your forward foot in a little bit towards your hip. Keep your top foot flexed and keep pushing out through the big toe ball mount. This is what's going to keep the knee really safe in this figure four position. Now from here, just start to let your legs sway side to side. Should feel pretty good. Okay. And then do that a few times. Start to walk your bottom foot over to the right. And the next time you let your legs drop to the left, plant your right foot down. So now we're in a seated twist. Start to pull the right foot in towards your hips and hug your bottom foot, your left foot in towards your hips as well. So we're all hugging into the midline here. Perfect. Okay, right hand behind you, fingertips down. Roll your right shoulder back, gaze forward, breathe in, lift through the left fingertips, gaze goes up. Breath out, hook your left arm on top of your right thigh. Pause. Breathe in, lift through the spine. Think about the spinal vertebra lengthening. On your breath out, find a twist. Rolling the right shoulder back. So we're pretty open right now. We're not pretty open, but we've started to open up through the shoulders here. So you can play around with what you want to do with this arm here. You can grab for your heel, if that feels cool. If you feel like you're really open in the shoulder, maybe sticking your hand through your top leg, okay? Now if you're feeling even more open and you feel like you can perhaps maybe find a bind behind you, you're gonna rotate that right arm behind you and reach for the left fingertips. Now you'll start by just clasping at the fingertips if you can. Now in this bind, you're using this bind to twist yourself deeper in this twist. The twist doesn't happen without the length of the spine. So think about rooting through the sit bones, breathing in, lifting up. Squeeze your abdomen, breath out, squeeze the bind and twist. Perfect. Release the bind if you've taken it. And then take your hands behind you, bring your left foot flat, release your right leg. Inhale your left leg, cross it over the right thigh, flex the foot, push out through the big toe, and then start to walk your right foot in a little bit towards the hip as you feel the stretch through the hips, the outer hip region of your body. Pressing your chest towards your shin to start to rock and roll, find a place that feels good. And then if you want to rock a few times, roll a few times, do so, but start to just inch your right foot over to the left so that we have space to bring this foot down. Really sense how this feels in your body. The next time you let your legs drop to the right, place your left foot flat, draw it in towards your hip, your right heel in towards your hip, and find a rootedness in both sit bones if you can. Okay, left hand behind you here. Inhale your right arm up, face forward, reach tall, gaze goes up, navel lifts. On your breath out, hook your right outer arm towards the top of your left thigh. Now before you go any further, breathe in, lift through the spine. Breath out, go ahead and twist towards the back of your space. Okay, so we're in this baby bind here with our elbow on top of our thigh. Okay, that's the baby bind. If you feel like you're pretty open and you want to go for the deeper bind, just notice though that it's the beginning of your practice. You may not be too open, but feel it out. Okay, if it's something that you want to play around with, you're internally rotating the top arm to slide your arm through your top leg. Okay, now if that's all you do, you stay. Okay. If you want to take this further, reach your left arm behind you and find the clasp. Now I will say that we're all very different from side to side. This is definitely a more challenging side for me. Okay, so just notice your tendencies. If you feel like you're in any kind of pain, release, let go, back off. One more breath here. On your exhale, use your abdomen, twist. Inhale, lift. Exhale, unwind. Come back into your figure four. Uncross the legs. Let's come forward into a downward facing dog. So set yourself up for your down dog. The wrists are shoulder distance apart. Start to feel out the legs, maybe a few petals of the feet. Maybe your heels don't root down towards the floor. That's totally fine. Okay, but if you feel really tight in the hips, just keep your knees micro bent and your sit bones lifting up towards the diagonal. Okay, from there, take a nice big breath in. Lift your right leg up. Square off the hip so that the outer right hip is reaching towards the outer right arm. Okay, so the inner thighs are pulled together, the toes are facing down. Reach back, breathe in. On your breath out, step your right foot to the top of your mat on the outside of your right wrist. So we're coming wide with this lunge. You can always use your hand to help your foot get up to the top of the mat. Now from there, lower your back knee. So we're in this cross between a low lunge and lizard, or runner's lunge. Now this is where blocks might come in handy. So if you know that you're pretty tight in the hips, a block underneath the hands or two will help a lot here. So we're just gonna work through the hips. We're gonna work maybe like a path to a bind, what you might see later in this flow. Okay, but right now, I want you to think you're trying to drag the front foot to the back knee. Okay, holding this position, start to take your right hand into your right inner thigh, maybe peel the right foot off of the mat. Find a nice twist. Okay. Now this might feel good. Maybe you want to work on some quad stretching, so you can always reach back and grab for the back foot. If that's not accessible to you, you've got your belt or your strap. Okay. So it always feels good to get into the quad. Now you can always take this position, if you are that open in the hips, onto your forearms on a block or onto your forearms on the floor. I'm very open in my hips. Okay. Now from there, if you're on your forearms for whatever reason, walk your hands back underneath your shoulders, heel toe your right foot in through center, and now start to hug your right shoulder underneath your left thigh. Okay? Maybe you don't go very far. Maybe you're here, maybe you're here. Extend your right arm out to the right, fingertips tap to the floor. Okay, breathe here. Release that. Tuck the back toes. Now lift the back leg off the floor. Breathe in, look forward. On your breath out, step your left foot to the top of your mat. Find hips width distance with your feet. Now from there, peace fingers and thumbs connect around the big toes. Take a nice spill forward in the fronts of the feet. Bend the knees a lot. Think about spreading the hips apart. Take a breath in, lift the heart halfway. Breath out, bend your elbows out to the sides. Pull your heart closer to the earth as you bow your head for this forward fold. Inhale, lift, straighten the arms halfway. Exhale, refold. Perfect. Okay, heel toe your feet out to the edges of the mat, toes out, heels in. Come into Malasana, yogi squat. Hands come to the heart here. Press the elbows into your inner knees as you lift the chest and root through the sit bones. So the sit bones are reaching down towards the earth. I should say the tailbone. Lifting up through the crown. One breath in. One breath out. Lift the hips up here. Breathe in. Heel toe the feet together on the breath out. Chair pose. Bend the knees, sink the hips, arms come forward and up. Loving chair pose. So sitting back in the hips here, draw in through the low belly. Think everything is squeezing into the midline, leading with the ring fingers. Now, as you inhale, keep the legs, reach the arms out to a T. Exhale, the left arm underneath the right, hook at the elbows for eagle arms, Garudasana. Draw the elbows away from the heart, drop the shoulders away from the ears, lift the crown of the head. Now from there, shift your weight into your right leg. On your inhale, lift your left leg up, cross it over the right, maybe hook the toes behind the right calf, or make a little kickstand depending on how your balance feels in this moment. The idea is to line the cross of the knees and line the cross of the elbows together. So squeeze all your extremities together. Think about all the major joints in the body squeezing together here. Core is active. Breathing here in this balance. Okay, keep the arms. Inhale, lift your left leg up. Flex your left foot. Exhale, keep the arms, start to kick your left leg back. Step your left foot to the back of the mat and ground your back heel for warrior one legs. Now as you inhale, lift your chest. Perfect. Exhale, reach around, interlace your fingers at your low back. Roll your shoulders back, clasping the hands. Draw the inner elbows together. Think about rotating the right hip back, left hip forward. Breathe in, lift the chest. Breath out for humble warrior. Start to try and keep the right hip in and the right knee in, but fold forward so that the right shoulder hugs to the inside of the right thigh for humble warrior. Keep hugging into the midline of the body. Keep lifting through the knuckles, bowing through the head. One breath in here. One breath out. Release the hands. Inhale, kick your right leg back. Exhale, open through that hip. Okay, so we had a lot of compression in that hip, a lot of flexion. Now we're just letting the blood flow nice and easy through the hip joint. Bend at the knee, open the hip, and then when you're ready, come into a static downward facing dog. Okay. Now, from there, breathe in, left leg lifts. Exhale, left foot to the top of the mat, outside of your hand. Lower the back knee. Same deal, we're in lizard pose. Okay, so we're drawing the thighs towards one another and coming down into the hips here, working the hands, or if you took it to lower on the other side, feel free. Now, if you took the quad stretch on the other side, feel free to take it here, bending at the back leg, taking your strap or your hand towards your foot and working the quad stretch. Now start to peel your left knee open, so the left foot peels off of the floor, twisting over, opening the hips. Take one more breath here. Okay, let's go ahead and walk your foot back through center. Tuck your back toes now. Inhale, lift the back leg up. Exhale, step forward, top of your mat, fold. Inhale, let's lift up now halfway. Lift the feet, plant your hands underneath your feet so that your toes or your fingertips face your heels. Plant your toes down on your palms or on your wrists. Bend the elbows, Padahastasana, fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Firm the thighs back. Exhale, fold. Release your hands from your feet. Heel toe your feet out to the edges of the mat and drop your hips. Good. From there, right fingertips come down to the right. Inhale your left arm up. Different variation of Malasana right now. Exhale, left fingertips out to the left. Inhale, right arm up. Nice, easy twist. Good. Release that. Breathe in, lift your hips. Breath out, heel toe your feet together. Bend the knees and sink the hips for chair. Inhale. Stay for the exhale. Sit back. Draw everything in towards the midline and start to feel the legs warm up. Good. From there, arms out to a T. Breathe in. On your breath out, right arm hugs underneath the left. Cross at the elbows. Pull the elbows away, Garudasana arms. Shoulders roll away from the ears. Left leg is your foundation. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, cross your right thigh over your left. Hook your toes or use the kickstand. Sink low in the hips. Squeeze everything into the midline. Squeeze your elbows together. Squeeze your knees together. Your inner thighs together. Everything squeezes together. Belly buttons pulled in. Keep the hands. Lift the crown. Inhale, lift your right leg up. Exhale, kick your right leg back. Float your right toes to the back of the mat, ground through your right heel. Warrior one stance. Inhale, lift up, Slice the air with your fingertips. Exhale, reach around, interlace your fingers at your low back. Breathe in, send your knuckles down, lift your chest. Lead with the heart, breath out for humble warrior. Keep your left hip hugged into the midline. Push down into the big toe of your front foot. Your left shoulder is on the inside edge of your left leg. Knuckles up towards the ceiling. Take one breath in. One breath out, release your hands. On the inhale, kick your left leg back. Open through the hip, exhale. Good. Play around, let that blood flow go. Okay, finding a static down dog when you're ready. Okay, we're gonna flow through that and we're gonna add on from there. So inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, open your hip. Inhale, kick your right leg back. Exhale, step your right foot to the outer edge of your mat. Lower your back knee down. Stay here, breathe in, lift the chest. Tuck the back toes, step forward, exhale. Inhale, find a half lift. Exhale, fold. Heel toe the feet out, inhale, drop the hips. Exhale, press the knees out, Malasana. Inhale, fingertips down, heel toe the feet in. Exhale, find your fold. Bend the knees and sink the hips. Inhale, arms up, chair. Exhale, sink it low. Inhale, arms to a T. Exhale, left arm underneath the right. Inhale, left leg comes over the right. Perfect, sit low, exhale. Inhale, lift the left leg. Exhale, teeter it back, keep the arms. Ground the back heel, inhale, find a back bend in warrior one legs. Exhale, reach around, interlace your fingers. Roll your shoulder heads back, knuckles down, breathe in. Humble warrior, breath out, knuckles up. Release the hands, breathe in, lift the heart. Breath out, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg lifts, open through the hip. And place it back down, downward facing dog. Okay, inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, right foot to the inside of the right wrist. Ground the back heel, warrior two. Inhale, left arm forward, sweep it back for warrior two. On your exhale, reach it forward now. Reach forward, forward, forward. So look at this hip crease, it's becoming deeper. As you reach forward, place your right hand down to the inside of the right foot. Okay, the knee is directly over the heel here, feet are spread. Now, take your left hand to your left hip. We're in an extended side angle variation. Now we're gonna take the left hand all the way up, face it forward, reach it forward. Hug your right hip underneath you and open your left hip. So like you're in between two panes of glass here. Engage through the core. Now we're gonna work our first bind. So on your inhale, firm the front foot, press it down, sweep the right arm all the way up for a reverse triangle. Exhale, come right back down in extended side angle. Walk your right shoulder underneath you, underneath your front leg. Okay, keep the legs engaged. Start to internally rotate the arm, reach for your back hip. Now, if you can take the left arm, reach it behind you and go for the clasp, go for it. If that's too much, you work the fingertips down. Or you grab for a belt and grab for the belt. Now, wherever you are, you're twisting deeper in this pose. Push down into the front foot, twist the top shoulder back in space. Take one more breath in here. One more breath out. Release the strap, push down, inhale, reverse triangle, straighten out the leg. That should feel really, really good. Exhale, bring your hands down to the floor. Take one moment here for pyramid pose. Draw the right hip back, the left hip forward. Awesome. Now from there, heart forward, breathe in. Breath out, fold. On your inhale, sweep your right arm all the way up, reverse triangle. Exhale, hands come to the heart. Turn your left toes out and Skandasana back of your mat. Okay, so your right heel grounds, the toes are facing up towards the ceiling. You're rooted down through the back foot. Now, we're gonna work through a bit of a bind. So left fingertips are gonna come all the way out to the left. Internally rotate the arm so that the palm faces up, bend at the elbow. Back of the hand is touching the back of your hip. Now, if you feel good here and you wanna take the right arm, turn it downward, bend it, and reach to clasp for your left hand. Now, clasping at your fingertips is totally fine. Otherwise, right hand grabs for left wrist. Wherever you are, engage your right leg, squeeze through the core, take a nice breath in. As you breathe out, twist your chest towards the ceiling. Breathing here. One more full round of breath. Okay, release the clasp. Push into the bottom foot. Inhale for star pose. Exhale, turn the toes in, the heels out, fold forward. Prasarita, wide leg forward fold. Walk your right hand to your left foot. Grab a hold. Breathe in, lift the heart, breath out, twist yourself over to the left as you slightly bend your left leg. Now from there, you can reach your left arm all the way up, breathe in. Exhale, maybe clasp your left fingertips into your right hip crease. Binds everywhere. One more inhale. One more exhale. Walk your hands over to the right side. Left hand, right ankle or right shin. Breath in, lengthen. Breath out. Pull yourself deeper into this stretch as you bend your right knee. When you're ready, inhale, right arm up. Exhale, reach it around. Take it to the inside of your left hip crease. Inhale, fingertips through center. Exhale, walk your feet forward. Okay, or walk your toes to face forward. Now, lunging forward into the front leg, breathe in. Breath out, step your left leg, top of your mat, fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Maybe you take maybe you take for opposite elbows behind your legs. Okay, push down with the feet. Inhale, sweep the arms straight up towards the sky. Exhale, refold forward, forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, plant your hands, step, hop back. Chaturanga. Inhale, lift up. Upward dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Second side. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, open your hip. Inhale, kick your left leg back, square off your hip. Exhale, step it to the top edge of your mat for lizard. Fingertips down, back knee down if you want it down, otherwise keep it up. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, step your right leg, top of your mat, fold. Inhale, lifting up halfway. Exhale, turn your toes out, drop your hips, Malasana. Hands come to the heart. Okay. Inhale, lift the hips. Exhale, heel toe the feet in through center. Bend the knees and sink the hips. Inhale for chair. Stay for the exhale, sink it deeper. Inhale, arms out to a T. Exhale, Garudasana, right arm underneath the left. Shift the weight into your left leg. Inhale, right leg comes up and over, Garudasana in the legs. Squeeze, exhale, sink lower. Just the legs now. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, kick it back for warrior one stance. Ground the heel. Inhale, Garudasana, back bend. Exhale, reach around and interlace your fingers at your low spine. Roll the shoulders back, knuckles down, inhale. Exhale for humble warrior, bow your head, release. Perfect. From there, inhale, release your hands down, look forward. Exhale, step back, downward dog. Inhale, kick your left leg up and back. Exhale, open your hip. Let that blood flow. Inhale, kick your left leg back. Exhale, step your foot to the top of your mat. Right arm reaches forward. Inhale for warrior two, ground the back heel. Exhale, reach forward as you increase this hip crease here. Reaching forward, now take your left fingertips down, right hand to your right hip. Set yourself up so you're pushing down. Elbow and knee are pushing into one another. Core is engaged. This left hip is reaching underneath you so that you're fitting between two panes of glass. Right arm reaches up, inhale, and then forward, exhale. Going for this bind now. Take your right hand to your right hip. If you're going for the bind, if you're not, stay in extended side angle. Now from there, push down to the front foot, inhale, reverse triangle. Exhale, right back into your extended side angle for the bind. Now start to walk your left shoulder underneath to the inside of your thigh, and then internally rotate the arm, reach for the back body. Take your right arm, internally rotate it, and reach for the clasp. Always a strap there if handy. Now breathing here, push into the front foot, engage through the legs, roll the right shoulder back, breathe in, release, breath out. Inhale, reverse triangle. Exhale, plant your hands, face it forward, pyramid pose. Draw your left hip back, your right hip slightly forward. Breathe in here. Breath out. Okay, inhale, come all the way up into star. Exhale, turn the right toes back. Bring the hands to the heart for Skandasana or surfer's lunge. The left toes are facing up. Toes are lifted, heel is grounded. Take your right fingertips out to the right. Reach, 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 reach. Rotate if you're going for the bind. Rotate your arm in. Think about that internal rotation. Bend at the elbow. Now you can pause there, stay there. You want to finish off the bind. You reach your left arm, rotate it down, bend at the elbow, and reach for the clasp of your hands. Now as you inhale, lengthen the spine. As you exhale, twist, gaze goes up. Firm through that straight leg. One more breath here. Release the bind. Inhale, come all the way up. Turn the toes in, the heels out. Prasarita, wide leg forward fold. I'm going to offer a different bind today. Peace fingers around the big toes. Thumbs touch the edges of those fingers. So to separate the heels apart here, but think about drawing inner thighs towards one another. Lift the heart as you breathe in. Navel to spine, fold as you breathe out. Start to really keep the crown of the head reaching for the floor, the heart reaching for the floor. Bend the knees, breathe in. Straighten the legs, squeeze the quadriceps, breath out. Okay. Hands come to center, inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, turn your toes forward, walk your hands forward. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, step your left leg back. And yes, downward facing dog. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's flow breath to movement. We'll add on, we'll have an opportunity to try out Bird of Paradise. So that is an option there. So right now we're just gonna work breath through movement. So come back to your breath if you've lost it. Take a nice big breath in through the nose. Breath out, open mouth. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, open the hip, bend the knee. Inhale, kick the right leg back. Exhale, step your right foot to the outer edge of your mat. Inhale, drop the hips, lift the heart for lizard. Exhale, step forward, top of your mat, fold. Inhale, lift the chest, toes out. Exhale, Malasana, frog pose. Inhale, lift the hips up, toes heeled together. Exhale, fold forward. Breathe in, lift up halfway. Breath out, fold. Bend your knees and sink your hips. Inhale for chair. Stay for the exhale, sink deeper. Inhale, arms to a T. Left arm underneath the right. Exhale for Garudasana. Inhale, lifting the left leg up off the floor. Cross it over the right. Exhale, squeeze to the midline. Inhale, keep the arms, left knee lifts. Exhale, send your left leg back. Float your left heel to the floor. Inhale, slice the air, lift the heart, lift the elbows. Exhale, reach around, interlace your fingers. Lift the heart, breathe in. Exhale for humble warrior, breath out. Inhale, release your hands. Exhale, step it back, downward dog. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, open your hips. Stretch the knee away from the hip joint. Inhale, kick your right leg back, square off your hip. Exhale, step your right foot to the inside of your right wrist. Awesome. Warrior two. Inhale, sweep the left arm forward and up, ground the back heel. Exhale, extended side angle. Perfect. Push down. Inhale, reverse triangle. Exhale, extended side angle. Going for the bind here. This is where we start to work into bird of paradise. So if you bound with a strap on the other side, feel free to bind on a strap here. Bind with a strap here. Start to inch your right shoulder to the inside. Internally rotate the arm. And then take your top arm behind you. Give a clasp to your hands. Start to look forward and start to walk the back foot forward. Line up the feet so that you're in a forward fold. Now, squeeze the arms. Start to shift the weight into your left foot. As you squeeze the arms, I want you to think you're lifting that right arm up. And that lift, that squeeze, that engagement through the core is what's going to allow your right leg to lift all the way up. Now, from here, firm through the belly button. Send the left portion of your tailbone down, if you can imagine that. Squeeze the low belly in, and as you're ready, start to squeeze the quadricep, work to straighten the leg. Point the toes, breathe for 3, for 2, 1. Place your right foot down, nice and slow. Step your left leg back. You're still in the bind. Inhale, reverse triangle. Straighten out the leg, straighten the arm, reach back, go back. Exhale, pyramid pose. Okay, inhale, star pose, arms up, toes out. Exhale, Skandasana, back of your mat. Come into your low squat. Stay here for 2 breaths. Choose to bind if you want to, if it feels good, or just stay. Maybe you lift the right arm up. Breathe in here, breath out. Fingertips down, inhale, lift the hips up, toes out, heels in. Exhale, just find a fold. Press the inner thigh bones back, separate the heels. Inhale, lift up through the heart. Exhale, turn the toes forward, walk your hands to the front of your mat. Look forward, lunge forward, breathe in. Vinyasa, breath out, step your right leg back. Chaturanga. Downward dog. Second side. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, open your hip. Stack the left hip on top of the right. Inhale, kick your left leg back. Exhale to lizard. Step your foot to the outer edge of your mat. Now keep the back leg lifted. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, step your right foot, top of your mat, fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, heel toe your feet out to the edges, toes out, heels in, drop the hips for Malasana. Perfect. Inhale, lift the hips. Heel toe the feet back to center. Exhale. Halfway lift, flat back. Inhale. Exhale, fold, navel to spine. Bend the knees and sink the hips for chair. Inhale. Sit low. Exhale. Inhale, arms to a T. Exhale, right arm sweeps underneath the left. Hug the elbows in. Left leg has foundation. Inhale, right leg lifts, cross it over, hook it. Exhale for eagle. Inhale, just the right leg lifts. Exhale, kick it back, teeter it. Tap the toes to the floor, ground the back heel. Inhale, slice the air, lift the fingertips. Exhale, reach around, interlace your fingers. Roll the shoulders back, lift the heart, breathe in. Lead with the heart, humble warrior, breath out. Bowing the head, one breath in, one breath out. Release the fingertips, inhale, lift the heart forward. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, lift the left leg high. Exhale, open the left hip. Inhale, kick your left leg back, square the hip. Exhale, step your foot forward. Lunging into the front leg, reach the right arm forward and up. Inhale, cartwheel the arms open, warrior two. Exhale, reach forward, take extended side angle. Inhale, reverse triangle, take the heat out of the front leg. Exhale, extended side angle. Ready for the bind. Hug the left shoulder underneath your leg, internally rotate the arm, bend at the elbow, reach around and clasp. Stay here, or if you'd like to work on Bird of Paradise, start to walk the back foot in. Okay, so the idea here is that we've created this strong clasp in the hands. Start to shift your weight into the right leg. Hug your arms, so you're hugging the foot into this bind that you have. You're hugging the leg into this bind. Now, activate through the core, so pull the belly button in, start to feel that engagement. And now allow yourself to lift your left leg up. Rooting down through the standing leg, firm through the right glute. Now, as you're ready, notice the tendency here. Maybe you stay, maybe you start to squeeze the quadricep to straighten the leg. 3 breaths. 2 breaths. 1 breath. Take it down. Step your right leg back. We're back in our bind. Now from there, inhale, reverse triangle. Exhale, bring your hands down to the floor for pyramid pose. Awesome. From there, inhale for star, arms out, toes out, heels in. Exhale, Skandasana, back of your mat. Stay here, maybe work the left arm up or take the bind if you're not sick of binding. 1 breath in, 1 breath out. Whew. Inhale, fingertips through center, lift the hips. Turn the toes in, heels out, exhale, fold. Grab on for something if you'd like, or clasp the hands at your low back, lift the knuckles. That might feel really good. Embrace the cracks, embrace the pops. 1 breath. Exhale, release. Hands come to the floor, breathe in, flat back. Breath out, turn the toes forward, lunge forward. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, chaturanga, maybe 3-legged. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Okay, pigeon pose. Inhale, lift the right leg high. Exhale, right knee to right wrist, lower your shin down. Now, it's not very important for me to get my shin parallel to the front of the mat. Okay, that's a lot less important than finding a squared hips. So think about how you feel on the hip. If you're working really hard to try and get that shin parallel to the top of your mat, it isn't necessary. Okay, but wherever you are, think about flexing your right foot. And now scooch the back toes back in space. And now look over your left shoulder and see that your left leg is completely straight behind you. So we're starting with pigeon. Now, before we move into sleeping pigeon, think about lifting through the heart, pressing the finger pads down into the floor, engaging through the core. Now, what I want you to do is think about lifting the arms. Actually, lift the arms. Don't think about it, do it. Okay, now as you lift the arms, I'm gonna have you take the fingertips down and lean forward. You're gonna feel a nice stretch in this outer hip. As you lean forward, firm through the core, but push your shin and your knee down into the floor. You'll feel more engagement in this outer hip. Inhale the arms up. Exhale 1 more time. Inhale, arms up. This time, lead with the fingertips, fold forward. Okay. Now you're welcome to hang out in pigeon if it's something that you love to do. Just think about this right hip starting to draw back, and you can use your hand to encourage that rotation in the thigh. Okay. If you haven't had enough of binds and you'd like to continue binding, I'm going to offer up a bind here. Okay, so you're going to be taking the right arm, reaching it behind you and grabbing for your right big toe. Okay, and this is your bind. Okay, if that feels like it's too much, don't worry about the bind. Maybe take your hand behind you or just stay in sleeping pigeon, folded forward. And the idea of the bind here is that you've got your big toe with your peace fingers and thumb, and you're working to twist your body. So you're twisting, spreading through the collarbones, creating this space across the chest. Press down into the bottom elbow. Breathe, see what you can soften in the hips. One more breath here. Release the bind if you took it. If you're in sleeping pigeon, inhale, come up. Plant your hands, tuck the back toes, kick the right leg back as you breathe out, opening through the hip, letting that blood flow. Place your right foot flat or down, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, left knee to left wrist. Take your shin down to the floor. Start to inch the back leg back and untuck the back toes. Gaze over your right shoulder and ensure that the right leg is straight behind you. So you may need to maneuver a little bit here. This side is my tighter side, so I tend to kind of stay lifted off the floor. And if you're feeling that at all, you can always take a block or a blanket and place it underneath your hip for support. So that way that you're not just hanging out in the joint. Okay, we're gonna do the same thing on this side. What we're trying to do first is square the hips. So this right hip, we wanna square it forward. This left hip, we wanna square it back. Now, to start, prop yourself up on your finger pads, lift the heart. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, lean forward, press your shin, press your knee, press your leg down into the floor. Finger pads press down. Inhale, come up. Exhale, lean. Inhale, come up. Exhale, walk your hands forward, come into your sleeping pigeon, or go for the bind. If you're going for the bind, it's gonna help you square your hips a little bit. You're gonna take your right arm to face in, reach with the left arm around yourself. I have a tech pack, so it's not as easy. And grab for your big toe with your peace fingers. Okay, now wherever you are, start to think about scissoring the thighs together, that movement that we know so well. And then push down into that bottom elbow, root down through the elbow, lift through the heart. Inhale here. Exhale, twist yourself towards the sky. One more inch. If you're in sleeping pigeon, see where you can soften in the hips. Release the bind if you took it. Bring your hands back to center. Tuck the back toes, lift the back leg. Inhale, kick your left leg up and back. Exhale, open your hip, let that blood flow. When you're ready, we'll come all the way down now to our knees. And we'll swing our legs around and bring them forward. Okay. Let's have you come onto your back, knees into the chest. Oh yeah, feels good. Shoulders should feel pretty open at this point. Hips should feel pretty open. We're gonna do one last bind, and it's one of my favorites, in a twist. Keep the right leg in, extend the left leg long. Take an inhale. Exhale, cross the right leg over to the left. Okay, now, if you'd like to play around with this bind, straighten your right leg. Now, straightening the right leg, take your bottom arm and reach for the inner foot. So it'll look like that, okay? So now you've got that foot. Then from there, go ahead and bend your bottom leg, your left leg, and reach for the top of that foot. You are now in a bind. So So we're in this like pretzel position. Shoulders are square towards the ceiling. You've got your foot any way you'd like. Breathe. One more breath. Release your bottom foot first. And now inhale, right knee comes into your chest. Exhale, lengthen the right leg. Inhale your left knee into your chest. Exhale, cross it over to the right. Now find your bind, extend the leg, reach the bottom arm towards the inner foot. Squeeze the quadricep, and then when you're ready, bend the bottom leg. If I can find it, there it is, okay. And then reach for the bottom foot. The idea here is that you really want to think about pressing that bottom knee away from the hip, letting it come in line with your midline. So trying to draw the knee back in any way you can. Think about squeezing your right buttock. Two more breaths. One more breath. Release the bottom foot first. Inhale, left knee into the chest. Perfect. Exhale, release your left leg long. Stretch your arms back overhead. Stretch your heels forward in space. Take a nice deep breath in through the nose. Release everything on the exhale. Shavasana. Rest here for 3 to 5 minutes. Namaste.